word in the statement. It says what?
Shaft.
Shaft. So what about the static balance? Is it shaft? Yes, shaft. But he never spoke about the shaft because he was dealing only with one plane. Yani the other static problem, it's also shaft. There is nothing actually rotating, making a full rotation in the space. It should be fixed with something and bearing. صح? But as long as he mentioned shaft here, then I'm expecting that it's no longer a static case. It should be dynamic. But I will confirm it later by a
distance.
whatever is mentioned in the statement about the distances. خلاص? طيب. Here it says that shaft carries 4 masses A, B, C, D of magnitudes 200, 300, 400, 200. What I prefer you to do, guys, when it comes to this kind of problem is to draw 3D, such that you can figure out where is the reference plane, which one is which L is positive, which L is negative. You got it? حضرتكم؟ Okay, now it says shaft carries this 200, 300, 400, A, B, C, D. So what I'm going to do very quickly, just I'm going to draw this one is A, roughly saying that this is A, this is B, this is C, this is A. And of course there is the bearing, which is supporting the shaft from the 2 sides. Okay. It says that your R1, RA, RB, RC, RD are given 80, 70, 60, 80 in planes measured from A. Okay, be careful, guys. It says respectively, and the revolving at radii 80, 70, 60, 80 millimeter in planes measured from A at, listen, which means that your M1 is already there. M1 is the, or MA is 200, and the corresponding R, which is RA, is 80. But until this moment, he did not say anything about the distances, but he give you a clue here, guys. He said all these distances are measured from one side, which means that I'm going to consider that my A is my reference plane for the moment purpose. خلاص? Which means that LA should be equal to
0.
because you are measuring A from the same A location. Clear or not clear? And whatever is listed down here is not LA or LB. No, it's not LA. It does not start with LA because your A is reference. So this one is what? LB. So this one is LB. This one is LC. This one is LD. And it's crystal clear based on my drawing that all these discs are located on one side, which means I decided to have that side as positive A value, which will reflect on the direction of the moments. When you represent FB and FC and FD, how you will represent your MA, MB, MC, MD. By the way, what is MA? 0, because you are multiplying by distance 0. But when it comes to the MB, MBC, MD, all the moments are represented in the same direction. Remember that conclusion here? Represented because their L's are positive. خلاص? Okay, let's proceed. It says the angles between cranks measured count anti-clockwise are A to B cousin. Okay. This means if I decided to make, by the way, this is what is given. There is no 2-dimensional, there is no any drawing, there is no anything to be given, only the statement. And you have to interpret it into figures before you think about your solution. خلينا نقولها بالعربي، دي كل المسألة، مفيش حاجة تانية هديها لك ولا هديك فيجر 2D ولا هديك فيجر 3D. This is your business. So before you think about analytical or graphical, no, please try to interpret in everything graphically. خلاص? So now, based on what he said the angles between the cranks. When he says the cranks, does not mean the literal crank which is used in the internal combustion engine. He means by cranks here means R's, R1, R2, or RA, RB, RC. خلاص? the angles between cranks measured anti-clockwise are A to B 45, which means A could be oriented in any direction, but I have to make the angle between A and B equal to what?
45.
And to make my life easy,
We'll put
I
zero.
decided to let the A
Reference
on
line.
the x-axis as we used to do earlier. خلاص? So this is MA, which means that my angle theta A is equal to
Zero.
0. خلاص? Again, this is MB. This angle is 45. And then we have MA, the theta between B and C. Here you go, guys. It says between B to C, which is very similar to the word A. Remember the expression that he used earlier?
Yes.
What was the word?
Successive or something.
Successive, exactly. So it is also successive, but he make it here a crystal clear. He said A and B kaza, B and C kaza. خلاص? Which means when you represent your C, it should be in the second quadrant, because you will end up adding the 45 plus 70, which will give you how much? 115, right? Okay, this is 115, and this is MC. By the way, guys, there is nothing here for free. Whatever I'm doing right now, I'm gonna give a credit for you for it. Yeah. For example, if you draw this one in the correct way, let's assume that the problem is out of 10, I will give you 2 marks for just interpreting whatever is written down in the statement. خلاص? Right. Let's continue. Between C and Z, how much? So you end up 120 plus 115, it will give you what? 235. Okay, which means you are in the third A quadrant. This is MA MD. تمام يا شباب؟ في أي حاجة تاني؟ That's it. Whatever is left over, البالانسنج إيه؟ ماس اللي أنا لسه ما اتكلمتش عليها، صح؟ The balancing mass are to be placed in X, Y plane, X and in planes X and Y. يبقى how many balancing masses, guys? 2 planes. He called the first one X, and then he called the second one A? Y. But there is no any clue where is X and where is Y so far. And then listen carefully. He said the distance between the planes A and X is 100. So it's a little bit confusing. Is it 100 to the right or 100 to the left? Let's continue. خلاص? Between X and Y is 400. Okay, before I proceed, how much is the distance between this one and that one?
300.
Between A and B, how much?
300.
300. Between B and C, how much? Yes, go ahead, read it.
400. 400.
400. Between,
No, doctor, it will be 100.
I'm
100.
sorry, it's all measured from A, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it will be
So
100.
which means that this is 300 and this one is 100 such that the total is 400 and this one is 700, which means we have another 300 here. خلاص? Now guys, let me use a different color to represent our X and Y. First of all, he said your X is 100 and still we are confused. Is it 100 to the left or 100 to the A?
Right.
The very coming statement or the very coming words will solve this problem. It says between X and Y is 4A, 100. Still rather confusing, but this one, look. And between Y and D is 2A,
100.
which means that your Y should be closer to the A, to the D.
To the C. 100 to the C.
Close. I mean between C and
Yeah,
D.
yeah.
خلاص? يبقى إذا this is my YA. So the distance between Y and D is how much?
200.
200. If this is 200, this means that this distance is what?
100.
Such that the summation should be 300. Because it's located in between. تمام يا شباب؟ And now the clue, there is no problem. That.
400.
You know exactly
Yeah.
where X should be located. It should be located what?
Between A and B.
To the right, exactly, to the right of A. Because no way to say that this is at 100 and then you claim that all this distance is the 400. You got my point? Clear?
Yes.
So the only accepted location for the X is to be on the A, on the right of the A plane.
By
clear؟
2.
طيب خلاص يبقى اذا ده الايه؟ This is our x a x plane. Okay. This is how much we said? I'm sorry. This is the distance here is how much?
200.
No, between a and x.
Yeah, 200, 200.
100.
100.
خلاص? Which means that this distance is
Yeah.
200. And if you add up 200 to 100 to another 100, you should end up 400, which is consistent with what he mentioned earlier, that x and y having a distance in between of 400. Did you see how difficult the interpretation of the problem? The قصة. It's a long story, and I have to conclude it in these two figures. خلاص? Otherwise, if you start your solution, it doesn't matter if it's graphical or analytical, then you will keep reading the problem from the beginning again and again. But once you put this figure there, you make your life easy. You can easily catch the values of LA, LB, LC, LX, and LY, right? You can also decide if they are positive or negative. Am I right or wrong, guys?
Yes.
Don't you see? All the L's are positive. خلاص? Not only this, you can also find the values of theta 1 and theta 2, theta 3 without rereading the problem again and again and again. So please, guys, my recommendation for you, my advice for you, never ever start your solution before interpretation of the statement into graphical representation. Yes.
Doctor, when we say the L's are positive, we mean it's to the right from the reference plane, right?
Say it again.
When we say the L's are positive.
It's your decision, by the way. It's your decision. See, usually we are saying x positive to the right and x negative. I'm speaking about x and y axis.
Yes.
But if I decided here to say all the right lenses are negative, it's up to you, no problem. But you will put yourself in a difficult situation because you will go to the forces. Each force you have to represent it in the opposite But claiming that all the L's, or assuming that all the L's are positive to the right, this will make my life easy because all I know that every L is acting in the same direction of the corresponding F. You got it?
Yes.
But which one is positive and which one is negative, it depends on that you need to make your life easy. Nobody said that all the rights are positive. No, I can do the same business assuming that all the rights are negative, not positive. خلاص? But we used to say right positive and left is negative. خلاص? طيب. Anything else to be represented? No. It says if the balancing masses revolve at radii, here you go, then I can say that Rx is equal to Ry. He said what? If the balancing mass revolve at a radius of 100 millimeter, which means each Mx and My are located at a 100 millimeter from the center of the shaft. Clear? So Rx is equal to Ry is equal to 100. Find their magnitudes, which means I need Mx and Ma
What?
and their position. When he says position, guys, in general, the word position means two things. Means R and no? Sorry, when it says position in general, it means three things. It means R, but R is there.
L.
Yes.
Theta,
It's not there.
is theta there?
No.
No, theta X and theta Y.
No.
They are not there, so I have to have theta. Not only this, also the L's. But he already told me from the beginning that Lx is 100 after I interpreted the statement. I ended up that Lx is 100 positive, and the Ly is how much, guys? Remember the distance between x and A was 100, and between x and y was 400?
500.
So, exactly. So the distance between, the distance Lx is 100, while the distance Ly is 500. خلاص كده؟ تعالى بقى نمثل الكلام ده كله فين؟ Is there anything that says I'm gonna go for the analytical? No. As long as you put MRL, this could be valid for both. If I decided to go for the analytical solution, what you need to add up here, guys, is what?
Cosine sine.
How many columns, by the way? Not 2, because it's not static. I'm not dealing only with summation of force. I'm dealing with summation of moments. So you will end up that this one will be what? MR cosine. This one will be
MR sine.
MR sine. This one will be
MRL
MRL
cosine.
cosine. This one will be
MRL.
MRL sine. خلاص؟ طيب. Now we are listing down whatever we interpreted earlier. MA is equal to 100, RA is equal to that number. Of course, as you can see, you figure out that he's using AR in terms of a meter because it was 80 millimeter. خلاص? And this one is a kilogram. This should be kilogram meter. This should be meter. This should be kilogram meter a square because it's MRL. And again, we are not using omega because omega is common between all the terms. Doesn't matter if you are speaking about both forces or moments. Okay, let's proceed. First of all, remember guys, we said we usually represent the force diagram first. And after representing the force diagram, we should represent the moment diagram. Yes.
So here he put the L as minus 0.1. Shouldn't be 0 on the A.
Okay. I'll answer that question, but you take me out of. I was about to say something to. What did I say before he asked it?
So we start with the force line.
Usually you start by the force diagram, and then we move to the moment diagram. But let me ask you a question. How many unbalancing masses are known? 2. Which means that you are looking for 2 m's and 2 thetas, right? Or graphically speaking, I have A, B, C, D. All of this could be represented with vectors, صح? We know the values, we know the directions, خلاص? But unfortunately, all what I know about X and Y is just the Rx is equal to 100 and Ry is equal to 100. Which means, guys, that if you are representing your force diagram, you will end up, let's assume, guys, I'm going to just make it simple. Let's say that this is FA and this is FB. Forget about the direction, I'm just showing you very how you deal with the problem. And then FAC, right? And then FAD. Usually, if there is only one balanced mass, I say, okay, here you go. This is the answer. But the problem is, guys, there are 2 vectors left, and I don't have any clue about the direction. Don't we have mx and my? Don't we have theta x and theta y? Which means that what you are getting here, it's not mx, it's not my, it is the resultant, right? Clear or not clear? So forget about this. Is I told you guys. Usually the default is to start by force and then you move to the moment. خلاص? Here I cannot start with the force because you will end up that your polygon to be closed, you still need to have 2 vectors that you don't have any information about their magnitudes or their direction. Clear or not clear?
Clear.
And you cannot assume that one of them is making this angle and based on your assumption the other one will make another angle. No, it does not work this way. Forget about it. Now let's go to the moment. Okay? Don't we have MA, RA, MB, RB, MC, RC, MX, MD, RD? We have all of them. My only problem right now is the MX and the MA. Why? So instead of claiming that I'm gonna use my A, where is the graph? Okay. Instead of claiming that I'm gonna use the A disk as my reference, no, I'm gonna allocate my reference at the XA plane. So when you allocate your mat at the X plane, you will end up with this story. This is your X plane, right? And then you will end up that LA is a
minus 0.
Allah ينور عليك. It's negative 100. So what is the reason, guys, for locating my reference plane for the moment at the X? ليه؟
So the moment on X will be 0.
Exactly. Remember guys, when you take the summation of moments, it's a very simple problem in the statics. Let's assume that you are dealing with a case like this. You have two reactions here, and you have one reaction there. So usually you are saying, assuming that this is the mechanics of material problem, خلاص B, and you are trying to figure out the reaction. Usually to make our life easy is to take the moment around this A, around this point, such that you get rid of these two unknowns.
To make one unknown.
Exactly. You will end up having only one unknown here. And this is the same reason that I decided to move the reference plane from the moment from the A that I decided earlier to the A. Somebody might put it at Y, doesn't matter. But you must either put it at X or at A, at Y. Clear guys?
Clear.
Now there is a change in the A, in the story. We're no longer dealing with A, all else positive. There is one negative which is LA. خلاص؟ عشان كده this is why I asked him to be patient. This is why guys, when it comes to the A, to the L, LA is what? Minus. While LX is what?
0.
Because you take it as a reference. You are the one who chooses as a reference. And then LB is equal. It's no longer A and B, guys. It's now between X and B. So it's no longer 300. It's 200. You got it? So you have to subtract 100 from each length. You got it? So anyway, this is LB, LC, LD, and then I have the A. I'm sorry. This is LD, and of course LY is also known. Don't we have the distance between X and Y 400? And you said my X is my reference. So your LY is no longer 400 plus 500. No, it is the 400 only. Clear or not clear?
Clear.
Okay. اتفضل.
حتى عملية الهرمات لازم نسوي الخطوة هذه.
Yes. Yes. خلاص. I told you guys, it doesn't matter. So far, I'm not speaking about analytical. This is just graphical. And the reason for having that table just for organization. Just to make it in order and everything is clear. Otherwise, you will keep looking at the statement. No, I have table which has the conclusion of the statement. Clear? Okay. Now, guys, I decided to go for graphical. We were not able to represent the force diagram because there are two vectors missing at the end. Now I'm going to go for the A. For the moment diagram. Okay. I know that. Listen carefully. Your first moment to be represented is FA, right? Okay. So your FA originally, just one moment, yes. Your FA originally is acting in the A, in the clockwise direction, to the right, صح? Don't we have guys,
yes.
MA, this is FA, صح كده?
Yes.
So when you start the business of the moment diagram, they call it couple diagram, اللي هو moment diagram يعني. Did you see where he represented the M?
Opposite.
In the opposite, because its L is A,
Negative.
is negative. Clear? But when it comes to the FB,
The
sorry,
same.
this is no longer FB, this is MA, MB, and this is MA. See, all of them are represented in the same direction of FB, FC, because their ends are positive. Clear, guys? I'm sure that you will forget all of this by the end of Alhamdulillah that this class is recorded. But please, guys, you must do it yourself when you go home. خلاص? Anyway, this is what MA. This is what? This is what? This is what? MD, right? Which how many moments left? There is no MX, خلاص.
MY, only MY.
It's only one. It's 0. Which means that we have only one MA, MY, Allah ينور عليك. And again, he did the same headache and the hassle. He said, okay, this is the balancing couple, and then I'm gonna know. This is your vector. You move in that direction, this direction, that direction. Then I'm gonna claim that this is what? To return back to the origin. This is what, guys? MA, MY. Clear? So now, can I claim that I figured out the value of the MY and the theta y? The answer, yes, sir. because you said summation of moment equal to a 0, which means that this is the correct direction of the MA of the MY. خلاص كده؟ Now guys, tell me, how can I get the value of the MY? Very simple. I'm gonna measure that length. It's only one vector. خلاص? Measure that length, multiply by the scale of the moment, and then divide it by R, which was 0.4. Remember, RY was 0.4. Point what? 0.1, right? Where is RY? Yes, 0.1. So you take that number, you take that length, guys, and you divide by a 0.1 times point A, because this is moment, guys. It's not R only. It's MRL.
Multiply scale.
Remember? So I'm gonna. This is why he said this value is equal to 0.04, because you multiply 0.1 by 0.4. It's 0.04. معايا ولا مش معايا؟
Yes.
Okay. So I can claim that MY is exactly equal to whatever the number that you will get in kilogram. The second question is, where is your theta y? صح? As usual, I'm gonna from the point the vector merged out of, I'm gonna draw horizontal x-axis and then measure all this angle all the way until I reach to the A, to the vector y. Which one is this? Theta A, theta y. خلاص? Now, I figured out the direction of MY, which is the same direction as FA, and I already have the value of the FY because I calculated M. FY means what? MY times RY. You don't multiply by L.
Yes.
Now you go to the business of the force diagram. الله ينور عليك. Now, starting with FA, we are no longer speaking about opposite and the same direction. This is only force. It should be in the same A. Except if you remove the masses, and this is not an issue of removing the masses. All the masses are added up, صح? So this is FA. Let me zoom in. Okay, guys. This is FA. This is F.
P.
This is F.
C.
This is F. D. What is this? This is MY. RY. خلاص? It's 0.1 because the R was 0.1. But the L is 0.4. خلاص? It's 0.1 times A. MY. And whatever is left over is what? MXRX. That's it. This is the end of the story. All what you need is to take that dotted line, multiplied by the scale. Which is scale? Force scale, not the moment scale, not the Kabbalah scale. And then you divide by,
0.1.
you end up having M.
X.
How can I get the value of the theta? Again, you draw a horizontal line from here, and then you move all the way in the anti-clockwise direction, which should be in the second quadrant. So the end of the story, as you can see, guys, he said that our theta, what is the solution?
Theta x.
Theta x and the theta y. I think he solved. Is it the same problem or another one? No. Okay.
It's, the
What is
next
theta
one.
x? Guys?
Theta x 145.
Where did you get it?
Next slide, see there.
Next slide. Where?
No.
Before. Yes, down.
Exactly. So our theta y, what is theta y first? Theta y should be located in the A.
12.
He said 12. Why 12?
Minus 12.
It should be negative 12. He said the angle of rotation of my is 12. He said in the clockwise A, which means negative 12. But if you measure it in the anti-clockwise, it should be 300 something, less than 360, because you are speaking about fourth quadrant, right? And this one is 145. خلاص؟ That's it for today. عارفين الوقت خلص صح؟ Today, tomorrow إن شاء الله أنا كده خلصت الشباب.